Hello and welcome to the His and Her Show with Jody
and Alex Misiak.
And today I am incredibly honored and grateful to have today's guest on our show. She has changed my life forever in like so many ways, from how I look at weight loss to my food I put in my mouth and to exercising. Before her, I was a crazy exerciser. So who's our guest, you might ask? Her name is Summer Peterson, and she is the international best-selling author of The S.E.X.Y Diet. So welcome, Summer.
Yes, hello.
Hey, Jody.
Hi.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
You're very welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. You literally have, and I think I've mentioned it numerous times to you, that you have changed my life on the way of just thinking about things. I always thought, exercise was the be-all, end-all to weight loss, and that is not the case.
Yeah, that old calories in, calories out thing, right? That the doctors
that you still
doubting.
you still hear it today. Yeah. I've read, I forget where I saw it just the other day about, what you put in, put out kind of thing. So, so you just really changed my look. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for putting all your knowledge, because you've been doing this for a while, but thank you for putting all your information into your book, because now everybody can benefit from it. So thank you, because we met in person before, and that was the first point of changing. And then you launched your book, and that just made it even more easy for me to implement everything that you have researched.
I'm so happy that you did. You've really followed it so beautifully. I'm so excited for you, Jody.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, maybe should we start with exercise? Because that was, I know for me, I was usually exercising about 6 days a week, and I would, 20 to 30 minutes, but I would be intense. And then I look at the scale, and, I was eating fairly healthy, but the scale would either stay the same or go up. And that's where you really changed my life. I was sitting at a weight after having kids, and I didn't think there was hope for me anymore. I was eating fairly good, we'll go with fairly good, and I was working out, and I was just getting depressed. And this was gone on and on forever. I'd be at the gym a lot, and I would remember being with the manager of the gym crying, because she would, we'd talk about our stats and stuff. And I was crying. She's like, well, could you be pregnant? I was gaining so much weight. So this is why what you do is just everybody needs to know about it, because if somebody's struggling, they don't need to be anymore.
Yeah, this is the breakthrough that they might need.
Yes, exactly.
This is the breakthrough. That's the right term. And Jody, your experience is not abnormal at all. Most people have this experience of a dramatic weight loss plateau where you are exercising like crazy, and many even restricting calories, and the scale not only not budging but slowly creeping up on you, and the despair sets in because you're sitting there looking at your caloric deficit. You're eating less calories than you're wanting. You're hungry, and you're exercising like a wild woman, and yet the scale is not going south. It is going in the wrong direction, and this is happening over and over again. We know for a fact that 95 to 99%, somewhere in the vicinity of 95 to 95% of all diets fail. And what's happening is, I live in America, and I believe you have this show in Canada as well, The Biggest Loser. And The Biggest Loser is following the calories out, restricting calories and exercising like crazy. It's like doing that on steroids. They exercise these people 8 hours a day. And one of my mentors really has pointed out that what sets this show apart from all of the others is that they never have a reunion show. And all of the people, all of the former contestants, if you track them, they all have these non-disclosure agreements, so they can't talk about it, but almost all of them have gained a significant amount of weight back, if not more than when they started the show. And it's because they are harming their metabolism the way that they're having them lose weight. And yes, while in the several months that they're living in the camps there, they are losing weight, they are dramatically losing weight, right, on this show, and everybody really thinks it's this incredible show, but they never follow up with these contestants, and it's because they have destroyed their metabolism and they have gained all of the weight back. And this is just it's what's going on in America and in Canada and all the Western countries, but on steroids, because the calories in, calories out model does not work. What it does is it slows down your metabolism and it makes you so hungry. Yeah. And so what we need to do is to get off of the treadmill. It's like, you see a mouse or a hamster spinning on the hamster wheel. That's what you're doing. You're not getting anywhere. You're not getting anywhere in the long term when you are exercising at this capacity. The only kind of exercise that we really need to be doing is strength training, especially as women. I mean, men as well, but of course. But like to really prevent osteoporosis and to get that muscle tone, strength training is great. There's all sorts of great benefits to strength training, but the chronic cardio is not helping us at all. So I give every single one of my private clients grace, like get off of the elliptical machine, stop going to spin class at 5 a.m., get off of these horrible things because they are just slowing down your metabolism. What we need to do is focus on what we're eating and when we're eating it. So it is a dramatic paradigm shift in the weight loss by focusing on what you are eating and when you are eating it. And I actually take exercise completely out of the weight loss equation. So if you're not already exercising, don't think about exercise at all. Don't even start. We'll deal with that way later in the future when we're really trying to ramp up your health. I take exercise completely out of the weight loss equation. But if you already are exercising, keep up with the strength training, but focus all of your willpower, all of your attention on what you're eating and when you're eating it. And this is where, Jody, you had your dramatic results and where all of my private clients have dramatic results.
That really was where it was. And actually you saying the whole exercise thing really, it gave me the sense of peace because I was doing so much working out where I didn't see results. And then I'd actually stop working out because I was so disappointed in my results. Like it was just this like yo-yo effect of working out that like it just gave me this this place to breathe and to understand. And then when I just, like you said, you kind of forget about it a little bit. I like adding, I don't even call it exercise anymore, just body movement, just to keep my body limber and healthy. But I don't look at it as a weight loss solution anymore. When you take that away, it gives you this sense of like, I'm doing it for my own health. I'm doing it for like to keep my body limber and, my heart pumping great because we have health issues in our family. That part, but it doesn't come to my weight loss journey anymore. And it's been a really big eye-opener. And then this way you just focus, like you said, what you eat and when you eat it. And it's just been this really incredible experience.
A transformation.
And this is how you and I both lost 30 plus pounds.
Yes.
By focusing on what you're eating and when you're eating it. I'll just leave people with this on the exercise. We can stop talking about exercise, but I really believe that meditation is good for you. But would you meditate to lose weight? Of course not. That's like a ridiculous thing. You do it for all these other great benefits that we know clinical studies tell us that meditation is good for. Same with exercise. Take it out of the weight loss equation. It has all sorts of other great health benefits. If you want to achieve those health benefits, do it for that, but do not do it for weight loss. Yes. What we do need to do for weight loss is focusing on what we're eating and when we're eating it. In my book, The S.E.X.Y Diet, lays that out. So S.E.X.Y, so the S.E.X.Y Diet, it's just an acronym. So S.E.X.Y is an acronym that I use. It's just a fun acronym to really get you to understand all of the 4 points that we need to focus on. I could have named it the FART Diet, but nobody would have bought a book called the FART Diet. So the S.E.X.Y Diet became an international bestseller because it's a fun, flirty name, but really has nothing to do with being sexy or objectifying your body. It's nothing to do with that. It's really just my 4-part weight loss system. And the S in S.E.X.Y stands for sugar and flour free. So what we're doing is we're removing the processed foods from your diet because clinical studies have shown that when you have sugar or flour in your diet, you are perpetually in a fat storing mode. You cannot lose weight, whether you're exercising or not. You cannot lose weight when you're eating sugar and flour. Eating sugar and flour is like spraying Miracle-Gro on your fat cells. So if you want your fat cells to grow, then by all means eat sugar and flour. But if you want them to shrink, then definitely stop eating sugar and flour. So that's what the S stands for. And the E stands for, like, what do you eat when you're not eating sugar and flour? Well, one of the biggest foods that I want you to start turning to is vegetables, because your doctor is telling you to eat more vegetables. Your mama always told you to eat more vegetables. It is time for you to start listening. We do need to eat more vegetables. Here in America, the FDA tells us to eat like 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and there's not one American that was getting that anywhere close to that, really. I mean, you look around, like, they're eating all processed foods around here. And I think
around
the same
here
is
too.
true in Canada. Yeah. And so, your obesity rate isn't too far behind ours.
No.
And so we need to actually, we really do need, we get to adult and eat more vegetables. And I'm not saying eat only vegetables. I mean, there's other foods that we get to eat, and we'll get into that in the why and sexy as well. But really just focusing on replacing a lot of your processed carbohydrates and sugary foods with vegetables. And then the X in sexy is my favorite for weight loss, because when you follow the S in sexy, which is to reduce your sugar and flour dramatically, that's actually speeding up your metabolism. You're going to speed up your metabolism when you take away the slow metabolism foods. Those are just foods that slow down your metabolism dramatically. You're just going to speed it up when you stop eating those foods. And then how do you burn off that fat? Because if you just grab right now, if you just reach down and grab your fat, grab your muffin top, grab your thigh fat, grab your back fat, anywhere you have excess fat on your body, just grab it right now and just ponder this for a moment. The only thing that fat is just extra calories waiting to be burned for energy. So you can get the energy that you need right now to, listen to this podcast or drive your car or walk to the, whatever it is, or to, keep your immune system running and your brain cells firing, your heart pounding. You need you need energy, right? The fat in your body is just calories that have been stored for later use. We have a beautiful system. Fat is just calories waiting to be burned, and the only way to really access them, or the most efficient way, I should say, to access those calories is to fast. So the X in sexy is fasting, intermittent fasting. It's just stop eating for a little while, not for like days and days and days on end. Stop eating, use those calories that the meal that you overate 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago that's stored there, you get to use those calories now to fuel your brain cells and your immune cells and to walk to the store. You get to use those calories and free them up and burn fat. That's what burning fat is all about, just using those stored calories for the fuel right now. It's very safe. It's very effective, and any healthy adult can absolutely practice intermittent fasting.
Which is like one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for me. I was living in an overweight body for quite a few years, and I discovered intermittent fasting. I personally felt like a thin woman trapped in an overweight body. It was devastating not knowing. I was the same as you, just like exercising like crazy, going to spin class and had an elliptical machine at home and going to Pilates class and walking my dog twice a day. I was exercising like crazy and I could not get the weight off. Once I discovered intermittent fasting, the weight was off of me in like 4.5 months.
Wow.
Weight that had been stuck on me for years. It was just done. 30 pounds gone. And I've maintained my ideal body weight ever since. It's and I don't fast very often anymore. I love fasting, but I don't fast the way that I used to, because I fasted. I got rid of that fat.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, it really is
only age.
You only need it it's pretty much for the weight loss part of things.
Yeah,
really.
It's not something you have to continue doing forever. It's something you can do occasionally.
No, but if you decide to like overeat at Christmas, then you get to fast the next day. It's fine.
Exactly. Actually, that's what I've been kind of doing on this in the summer, right? Is we went away on holidays. Mind you, I ate fairly clean on holidays still, and other than the alcohol. And so then it's like coming back and it's like, okay, I know exactly what to do. Yeah. And even just intermediate fasting when you aren't eating well kind of stabilizes. I found when I wasn't eating over the winter, when I was, having colds and stuff, and I wanted those days where you're tired and you want those sugars. It's actually a really great way to kind of stabilize as well when you're not that it's a great idea to go like back and forth on like using intermediate fasting just to eat junk, but it's there in your back pocket when you need it.
It's a phenomenal tool.
Yeah.
And I think the key for anyone listening is when you say intermediate fasting is you're just getting to the point where your body is like, okay, well, I'll use what I've got stored up, and not to the point where it's like, where your body goes, I don't know when I'm going to eat again. I better go into like starvation mode. Right, because that's where the food
is a huge myth. So that the whole piece about starvation mode is a huge myth. With intermittent fasting, your body actually, because we've been fasting, our ancestors have been fasting. We've evolved as humans, have evolved as fasting because there was no such thing as refrigeration 200 years ago, let alone 1,000 years ago. And if you think about how humans evolved, we didn't always have access to food every single day. So this is why we have a system where we store fat, because there's going to be a winter and an early spring where there's very little food, and there's days on end where our ancestors were not able to find food. And so we need to have this really incredible system. And what happens when you're fasting is everybody thinks, oh God, I'm going to be so tired and I'm going to like die. Well, do the bears die when they hibernate? No, of course not. They like get fat in the summer and then they hibernate, and that it's not that humans hibernate, but what happens is that we actually, when it's time to hunt for food, we actually get more energy so we can get the food. And our metabolism is proven to speed up while we are fasting. And this is all of the hormonal processes, all of these great hormonal processes that are really, really good for us. You do not go into starvation mode with fasting. Even a 5-day water fast, you are not in, quote, starvation mode. Starvation mode is really what happens when people go into concentration camps, or you're living in a country with terrible famines and you don't have access to food and proper water for many weeks on end. Then your body will go into a metabolic decline, which is, starvation mode isn't even a clinical term, but it's what the common people love to talk about. Intermittent fasting and starvation mode need to be separated. They have nothing to do with each other. You will not go into starvation mode, even in a 5-day water fast. You're totally safe to do this. And the kind of fasting that Jody did was only a 24-hour fast. Jody ate 7 days a week.
Yes, yeah. I'm actually on a fast day today as we record.
Yeah.
And your brain is happy and your body's happy and you're able to be a happy, nice person.
Water, yes. And actually, I used to think that I always thought I got hangry, so hungry and tired and cranky. But it's amazing what happens when you actually just, even if people don't fast for a whole day and you just do the intermediate fasting where you're eating in an 8-hour window, that alone has stabilized. We're eating all over the place, and that actually helps, does more havoc on our hormones and our blood sugar and everything.
Yeah, you don't get hangry if you're if you're eating if you're eating processed carbohydrates and sugar, that's what fuels getting hangry. If you're not eating those kind of foods, you won't get hangry whether you're fasting or not fasting. And I used to get hangry all the time because I would start my day with a bowl of granola, and then I would have a sandwich for lunch. So you're eating processed carbohydrates and lots of sugar all throughout the day, and then your body is addicted to sugar every 2.5 to 3 hours. And if you're at the 3-hour mark, you're not feeding it, you're going to get hangry because your body needs that. It's addicted to having that sugar. When you break that cycle, you can go 4 or 5 hours. You can go 24 hours without getting hangry.
Yeah, this is the kind of information that definitely needs to go out there, because I don't know whether you got them in the States, but I see they popped up maybe a couple months ago. It's a candy bar basically called 425. So
to eat it at 425,
because that's when people start to feel like when you're eating processed food and more stuff. I'm not kidding. It's basically a candy bar, but it's like nut packed and with a thin chocolate coating and that.
Of course,
so it's kind of like a mini O. Henry, but not quite as bad. But that's how they're marketing it, right? You're going to be. All
granola bars are basically glorified candy bars. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not even a granola bar. This is way closer to an actual candy bar than that. But yeah, it was just something that cropped up, and so here you are talking about the sexy diet, saying all these things, and then it's which is amazing. and great, and why we want to have you on the podcast, and why we hope for your continued success, and why we're super happy to have you on. But like you said, right, when you talked about like the biggest losers, like there's all these societal things around that are just saying the wrong thing for people to
lose
hear,
weight.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, why am I getting hangry? Well, it's because it's not, you're saying, well, you're getting hangry because you're eating these processed foods and you're eating like either too often or whatever it is for your particular body. But, what do companies see? They're like, oh, we can market another junk food item to fill that gap.
Yeah, it's very,
Like,
very cheap to produce a processed carbohydrate food.
Yes.
It's a lot of work for us to eat these organic, foods. It takes a lot more meal prep. So where you're changing out all of the hours spent going to the gym and on the elliptical machine, you are chopping veggies so you can have a healthy dinner and a healthy lunch. And making nice smoothies or something for breakfast, or eating eggs, and we get to reimagine our plate also when we eat this way, because typically we consider granola or cereal to be a breakfast food, but maybe eggs are now the breakfast food, or maybe they're a dinner food, or maybe they're a lunch food. Maybe having a salad for breakfast, which nobody in the right mind would ever have considered having a salad for breakfast, but maybe that's okay now. We get to reimagine it, and maybe not having a salad for breakfast if that's not your jam. Maybe though you can at least have some vegetables with breakfast, which used to be unheard of as well. We get to reimagine our plates. And before I forget, I do want to say what the Y in sexy is.
Okay, yes.
And
this is a good one.
This is important because we've all been brainwashed to believe that fat is what makes you fat. But remember when I said that eating sugar and flour is like spraying Miracle-Gro on your fat cells. The only thing that makes your fat cells grow is eating processed carbohydrates, eating sugar and flour. Fat does not make you fat. In fact, eating fat, a high-quality fat such as extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, avocados, macadamia nuts, those sorts of foods that are very high in fat, those not only do not make you fat, but they also have this phenomenal effect on your hormones where they turn off your hunger hormone. And then especially when you are coupling fat with a fiber-rich food, and the most fiber-rich food that we can think of is vegetables. When you put fat on vegetables, whether it's extra virgin olive oil on a salad or grass-fed butter on your steamed broccoli, then you're really filling your belly and feeling that satiety that we all crave. We all want to feel full after we eat. And you will feel full not only immediately, but for a very long period of time. You won't need to eat every 3 hours. You won't need that 4:30 bar. You're actually going to be able to make it to dinner and feel really full and have stable energy when you're eating a higher fat. And I'm not talking necessarily about keto. I'm not living in a ketogenic ketogenic state. You can live in a ketogenic state if you want to. You do not need to at all. I sometimes will go into ketosis, but never for too long. I love I more carbohydrates than typically what would be considered ketosis, but a lot of vegetables. Most carbohydrates I get are from vegetables. And couple it with fat. The Y in sexy is saying yes to healthy fats. You are going to feel full and be healthy and have glowing skin and have the body weight of your high school. You know, for me, it was going back to my high school body weight after I've had 2 children.
Yes. Yeah. And you look amazing. So, and your energy,
Thanks,
I think
Jody.
that was, you're welcome. What I was even drawn even more in what Alex said, it wasn't just my weight loss that has affected my life. It's the energy. So when I met you in person in San Francisco just over a year ago, I think, it's just your energy. Like you just have this energy and just changing the way you eat helps that, like, eliminating the sugars and the flour. That was actually one of the biggest things for me because my son wasn't sleeping for 2 years. What was I living off of? Sugar and carbs, right? Like just anything. Like I remember going like, Alex, go get me a donut. Like I was living off of that. And if obviously I need to go through that time and I made grace with that and peace with, my journey. But looking at it, it's like, I could have really shifted my eating to get more energy as well. And one of the other things I want to mention is with the intermediate fasting or even just fasting, I notice like any of those days where maybe I treat myself a little to something floury or sugary, those are the days that are harder to fast. And I know you've mentioned it before where it's like, and it shows. But when you eliminate that, it's really, I shouldn't say easy, but it's a lot easier than you think to do fasting.
Yes. To get through a 24-hour fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What I do actually like about having ketogenic eating in your back pocket as a tool, not as like a lifestyle, but as a tool, especially say if you're going to fast 2 non-consecutive days a week, which is the prescription that I have in my book, such as like Mondays and Thursdays where you wouldn't eat until dinner. You would just skip breakfast and lunch and just extend your fast to make it 24 hours. If you eat a ketogenic diet on Sunday and Wednesday, you really are not having the cravings and you have so much energy. But if you're eating like a whole lot of like carbs and pastas and breads and things and lots of sugar on Sundays and Wednesday going into your fast, your blood sugar is going to be all out of whack and you're going to really have a harder time with the fast.
That's why I never do fasting on a Monday.
Yeah.
Just in case like I have like a glass of wine on a Friday or something, and I just I fast like Tuesday and Thursdays just to keep it away from the weekend. Yeah. Can we actually I want to kind of talk about fasting day, because we've kind of mentioned it a little bit, but just so people understand, like they might think that they don't go eating all day, and I know you mentioned a little bit, it's like you get to eat at supper. Just want to go a little bit into the fast day, because it really isn't, I don't want to say a big deal, but like some people might think they don't get to eat all day, but it's actually just, we will just kind of, do you mind going on?
It's certainly one of those things where some listeners would be hesitant to be like, oh, I don't know if I can do that part, right? So
we'll just kind of maybe break it down just a little bit more, just so people are like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, almost everybody can fast. So another one of my mentors, he's a nephrologist in Toronto. His name is Dr. Jason Fung, and he was seeing people in his clinic, typically people with diabetes, obesity and diabetes, as a nephrologist, a kidney doctor. And he was sick of watching all of his patients get sicker and sicker on the medications he was giving them, i.e. insulin. And then they would get sicker and fatter, and then many of them would die and lose limbs. I mean, diabetes is a very serious illness. And he discovered intermittent fasting and started applying it in his clinic. And now he has a 2-year wait list in his clinic. And at this point, I mean, people are just following him on, his social media, reading his books and things, because you can't even get to him, but following his prescription, which basically is a low-carb diet and fasting. And if somebody says, hey, I don't think I can go 24 hours without fasting, Dr. Fung makes them go 3 days. He tells them, no, you get to go 3 days without eating by fasting, because everybody can do it. It's all in your head that you can't go, that you're going to die if you go a whole day without eating. So specifically, the prescription that I give people in fasting, what I love for people to do is to fast 2 non-consecutive days a week, such as Tuesdays and Thursdays that Jody does, or Mondays and Thursdays, 2 days that are not next to each other. But you think, oh, I have to go 24 hours. That means I don't eat at all that day. Well, your fast actually begins the night before. So your fast, if you're going to fast on a Monday, your fast begins after dinner on Sunday night. So let's say you have dinner at 6 o'clock. You're going to stop eating. Then the next day you eat at 6 o'clock. So you actually get dinner 7 days a week when you're doing intermittent fasting. You're skipping just breakfast and lunch. And it's actually so dramatic, the health benefits, and you're really burning fat. And then the next day you're eating normal again, and you're eating normal again. And this is why your metabolism never slows down when you're fasting. Whereas if you are restricting calories for 7 full days, your metabolism starts slowing down. So you never want to restrict calories to like 1,500 a day or 1,400 a day or 1,200 a day or whatever crazy things that people are doing, because you're going to really freak out your metabolism and slow it down. But if you actually literally just stop eating for 24 hours, your metabolism speeds up, and then it goes back to normal again when on your days when you're feeding. and then you'll stop eating again a few days later until dinner, and your metabolism speeds up again, and you're burning off all of this fat, and you'll really see the difference on the scale. The scale will start to show you that you're losing weight consistently every single week. I do recommend that everybody weigh themselves 1 day a week, typically after your second fasting day. Track it and watch every single week. For me, I did that. I had a weigh-in day of Friday. Friday was my weigh-in day. I fasted Mondays and Thursdays. Friday, I would weigh in and I would write it down, and I would literally see about 1.2 pounds dropping from the scale, sometimes even more, every single week. And it's so fulfilling to see the scale move in the right direction, and then you stay at your ideal body weight. It's incredible.
It really is. I still have a long way to go, but I've come a long way as well. Mm-hmm. So it's really incredible.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
And we couldn't have done it if we didn't have, there wasn't somebody like you out there.
You've done a lot of research, and your just book is amazing. And anybody that's, struggling, I really encourage you to pick up the Sexy Diet, because it's jam-packed. And you even talk, we won't get too much into it, but it does touch base on what I do, which is self-love. So it really brings it in here, and you have a really cool, I think I have it bookmarked, a really cool thing to kind of, an activity really to kind of, get yourself in a place, because motivation only goes so far. So it's about finding your why. So you really touch base with a lot of wonderful things in your book. And this book is just jam-packed with tools. I love how you have a toolbox and you put things in. So I really love that.
Thanks, Jody. Thank you.
Well, thank you for putting it all in a book.
Can be, yes, it was such a beautiful experience writing it, and you can get it on Amazon. In so many different countries. It's an international best-selling book. It was #1 in 9 different countries, so it's really available in so many different countries. Again, it's The Sexy Diet by Summer Peterson, and I hope you get it.
Yes, me too. Because if anybody's listening, and I can speak from personal experience, it has really changed. I literally, before meeting you in San Francisco, I kind of gave up. I was okay, I guess I'm at I think I was sitting at 195 pounds. I'm I'm done. I'm sitting here. I guess that's where I'm going, because every time I tried to lose weight, I just kept going up and up and up. And then, I met you, and you changed my whole perspective on things. So, and just gave me hope again. And, so having you on is just really, opening that up to anybody else that is struggling or knows somebody else. So if somebody's listening and you maybe know somebody that could hear this, share it. Sharing is caring, and I say that to our kids all the time, but it really is. This is, I talk, anybody that will listen, I talk and share your Sexy Diet, because it is life-changing. And then really, the only thing that's really just the diet part is the extended fast. And like you said, or intermediate fasting is something you can kind of come back to, but the rest of it's really a lifestyle. This isn't something that you're eating all these vegetables and then you go back to eating sugar and all this flour. It's a lifestyle, and it really has changed our whole family dynamic of things. And yes, you said it does take a lot more work, but then you're not exercising as much. You're not stressing about being overweight and things. It just becomes this thing that you do of meal planning and just working. It can be a fun family activity.
It becomes a habit. Mm-hmm. I really take all of my private clients from a place of doing it from a place of discipline and moving it into a place of desire. Mm-hmm. And it really, when you start to feel the benefits of being healthy and seeing the weight drop, you really do start this meal prep and planning, and all of these things come from a place of desire, not a place of white knuckling, disciplining yourself. Fasting becomes something that you desire to do. This is a real thing. So I recommend everybody following all four steps of the Sexy Diet, and you will find that you're no longer having to have the discipline to lose weight, but it's coming from that space of authentic desire.
And love, when you love, because you love the way you feel when you're eating clean foods. Because here's the thing, we did go away on holidays and I ate something that did not agree with me, and my body shared that with me. It's
rejected it quite heavily.
Rejected it hard. So when you clean up your eating to the point of and you're loving it, your body then reminds you and you're not on that there. And it's like, okay, I actually now don't eat as much for weight loss. I eat because I feel good when I eat a lot of vegetables and I eat very clean. So eventually it's like getting over that hurdle of, and I don't even think about what we eat much anymore other than our meal planning, but food used to be a huge topic for me, like I was always focused so much on food, and now it's
an obsession. Yeah,
exactly. And now it's not an obsession. We obviously, like I said, we meal plan because like when you plan, then you eat well. It's when you don't have a meal plan in place, then, you grab for whatever. But if your house is full of nothing that is, sugary and floury, then you don't really have an issue either. But, yeah, it's amazing when you don't really think about it anymore, when you get to that place of just doing because it feels good.
Yeah. It's freedom. You have
exactly.
so much freedom. Yeah.
It is. So thank you again. And is there anything else you'd like to share, like anything you're doing that you'd like people know about, or, just any last
if people are wanting to learn more about how they can work with me or to get into, I have private Facebook groups where I do Facebook Lives and things. I'm at bodysoulshine.com, and you can you could take my 5-day challenge. I have a 45-minute free training that I give to people on the website where I go so deep into intermittent fasting and exactly what to eat and when to eat it. And so just go to bodysoulshine.com. And then there's also links to my private Facebook group on there, Body Soul Shine Metabolism Reset.
Perfect. We'll have all those links in the comments below this episode as well. Just so people don't have to worry about jotting it down, guys. The link it was in the comments below as well.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And I love your 45-minute training. That was amazing. And I think that was the one where you shared your yummy salad. So that really got me. It really got me started on the path of like lunchtime. So if anybody's like, what do I eat? Definitely follow Summer's training and 5-day challenge. And I'm pretty sure I've done it all. So
super
it's
cool.
all there. Because before you had the book come out, I literally, after meeting you, I was like, okay, because you have so much information on your website. So for people to get started.
Lots of videos.
If you don't want to get the book yet, it's on there, and then get the book. Highly recommend it. But, it's all, you have so much information.
Yeah, tons of stuff for free.
Yes, exactly. And then I love the book because then you can come back to it again and again and reread and, things like that. So, yes, I thank you again. Yeah, Summer. Alex, do you have anything?
Pleasure. Well, I was just going to, I mean, you've covered a lot of it.
We did a lot of talking.
And you piggyback off of what already has been said. I mean, you've got a lot of information out there, good information, like proven information, like this does work, guys. Like I watched the transformation in my own wife. I'm sure you have your website littered with testimonials. The point here is that this is the kind of information that society and the corporate, they're not, whether they're aware of it or not, they're not pushing it. So this is, if you're trying to lose weight and you can't, this is your solution. This is your solution. It's a new way of thinking. It's not, I know it's called the sexy diet, but it's like the sexy lifestyle, because you change what you eat. It's not a temporary thing, and you suddenly will see almost a complete transformation. And it's been wonderful to be to watch you do this transformation. It's been fun finding new recipes together and trying things out in the kitchen. And none of this would have been possible without you, Summer. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad I've had a positive impact on your family.
Yes, not like Alex needed to lose weight, but every time, he just keeps losing it too.
This way I'm keeping myself internally healthy as well.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
That's important too.
That's right.
One thing that we really had fun doing is because of replacing, rice and noodles and whatever else we would eat, we then put, instead of that, you actually can replace it with another vegetable, which is really fun. The zucchini noodles and stuff. So we just had a lot of fun in the kitchen as well.
Our kids have a lot of fun with the spiralizer. So.
Oh my gosh, I bet.
Anyway, we could talk forever.
Yeah.
But thank you again for just sharing your knowledge and you just, it will help so many people. So thank you.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Everyone listening, have a beautiful day.
Bye for now.